for Midwest Speedfest to talk about something that Levon and Firestorm and I went to run. Now, normally for a submission video, you would generally actually show the game being played. The problem is that this one is a little bit different. This is actually a it's called a OneMind. For Link to the Past randomizer. Basically, it's a mod that allows two people to control Link, and what happens is that every X number of frames, the control shifts between player 1 and player 2, and that kind of goes back and forward at a set interval. So what you have to do is you kind of have to think the same level. You have to think. Basically, you have to cooperate with your partner to do your movement and kind of be on the same page as you move through the game. Otherwise, you start conflicting with each other, and then so I just kind of wanted to demonstrate what a OneMind is, how it works. Without having a partner here, it's going to be a little hard. We can't actually just show an entire run. But basically, it's just Link to the Past randomizer run, except it's with two people. So, what I have up here is just the UI for the patcher. Basically, generate a normal Link to the Past randomizer game. Nothing terribly special, but in this case, we can pick two-player sprites. So, in this case, if Clifford and I were going to be running, Clifford would probably be player 1, and... Levon would probably go with the Clifford sprite. And then, let's see here. What would I do? Probably the cursor. Because the cursor is awesome. And then the frame delay. So what this does is it allows us to specify how long it takes before control shifts between each player. It can be as little as 1 frame or 0, or something along those lines. And it could be as long as we want. 64 is just the default. So you can make this 8 frames is actually, that's a pretty fast swapping back and forth. 250 is relatively slow. We can make that a bid war or an incentive, a tiered. We might consider doing a tiered incentive, so the more money that gets donated towards the incentive, the lower this number gets, so the harder it becomes for Levon and I. Just to kind of show off it a little bit, we'll go with 16. That's a pretty fast interval. Just to kind of show, just kind of off how that kind of works. And then we're just going to go ahead and click Patch ROM. It's going to ask me on my side for my game, tell me it's successfully patched. We'll go ahead and hide that, and we'll go ahead and load up this patched game. That works. So, at first glance, right? So I've got 2 controllers connected to my Super NT, right here. And I just kind of just run down. I have all my streaming equipment here, and I have my controllers. So put that back. Gotta figure out which one is which. Basically, player 1 is, I think, a control right now. Now, you can see right now, character's only moving when Clifford is the sprite. And then when the cursor is the sprite, or player 2, that's when... So, only when a particular player is that sprite that indicates which player has currently control of Link. So the player, in order to really move quickly, has to be able to work as one, as a team, in order to move within the world here. This is something that we've played a decent amount of time at GDQs. So at GDQs, we'll usually play these as kind of as a way of kind of getting to know another player. Generally, it'll be like the first day, and it'll be with somebody you've never played with before. At SG Live, we actually did it on the last day, and just drew lots. I got lucky enough to play with Andy, and yeah, that was just a good time overall. And I think that if this run is accepted, I think it would be a pretty fun one. There's gonna be spaghetti mess, right? We've played before, just not like done a recording, but we have done a OneMind before, and it is quite a bit of fun, and I really hope to bring it to Midwest Speed Fest. Anyway, this concludes this. It's kind of hard to do a 2-player, 1 controller as 1 player. Yeah, like if somebody's like playing like with the, it's like if one person's pushing up and another person's pushing a different input, where you can get conflicting stuff. And yeah, anyway, that's Link to the Past randomizer OneMind. If accepted, we'd probably be playing standard mode. It's generally what's used. It's traditionally what we've used for OneMinds. We could also do a boot start. That'd be kind of fun too. We're kind of open to the type of settings that we throw ourselves on. There's a lot of options within the randomizer. Anyway, this kind of concludes this video explaining what a OneMind is, how it could be fun, and hopefully we can get this run accepted, and I'd be happy to show it off here. Anyway, that concludes this video. Good night, and yeah, have a good day.